E-bikes are a hot topic right now, so I'm super stoked that I get to ride this Rocky Mountain Powerplay and give it a little test run. So let's go out in the mud and dirt and rain and see what it can do. Alright, so it's not the best day for filming, but it's the only day I got. So we might get some rain splats or dirt on the camera. And if you didn't know, I've just taken 8 weeks off biking because I fractured my arm and done some nerve damage and stuff all in my shoulder. So I'm going to be taking it fairly steady. We're going to have some fun. So the Powerplay has 160 in the front and 150 in the back. It's got exactly the same measurements as the altitude. So it's basically an electric altitude. Who could want for more, eh? So first thing I'm noticing is you can hear the mechanics of the chain. It's because it goes around 2 cogs back there. But the climb is quick. So I think I'm in top power mode here. You still have to work a little bit, but it's very, very fun. I'm using an old GoPro 2 that's not waterproof. Thankfully the rain's not too heavy in the woods here. So we'll see how long she goes. Those on Strava will be happy because I didn't actually start it until halfway up. So. And I'll probably have to turn it to private anyway so that I don't upset any people that love their Strava times. You know, it's interesting just trying to get the balance of power delivery with the gear ratio so you can get the right kind of cadence. So this is the first time I've ridden an electric mountain bike on a mountain. Every other time I've just ridden it in the parking lot or something. I'm definitely noticing a lot of clunking in the gears in the back. It seemed fairly tuned in the stand the other day, but there is a bit of slipping between the gears. So, you know, some people talk about, oh, the added weight of an e-mountain bike is damaging the trails. All that jazz. That's complete nonsense. Woohoo! That's got some torque in the lower end there. Because let's say this bike was 60 pounds, which it isn't, it's lighter than that, it's full carbon. But let's say it was 60 pounds and I'm 130 pounds. So we're looking at 190 pounds. Now, I know people out there that weigh more than 190 pounds without their bike. And that's a normal bike. So if you're going to say e-bikes are damaging the trails, then you're going to have to say big fat guys are damaging the trails too. So you can't really do that. So I think that's a pretty bad argument. So the low down power on this is really not that powerful, but what you can do on the altitude or the Powerplay is you can sync it up with your iPhone or other device and you can change the power band. So there's three settings, low, medium, high, and you can graduate each of those settings. So like setting 1 could be 20% power, setting 2 could be 50, setting 3 could be 100, and you can just grade it. There's a little bar graph that you can change on your phone. So that's pretty awesome. Set it to whatever power you like so you get the right ratio. And you can change it on the fly if you want. If your terrain changes. I definitely don't feel like this is much of a workout, and I'm already almost at the top here. As I'm a light person, I can definitely feel the weight of the bike below me. It feels just feels cumbersome over little launches and little log hits and stuff. Feels like you don't have to change gear as much on an e-bike, but I am finding that I need to change the power band. One thing I don't like about this Powerplay is the way that the buttons are situated for the power band, because see on the buttons are on the top of the bar, so it's quite difficult to engage those buttons on the fly, because I find that you do change power just like you want to change gear with the click of a thumb. So maybe I can rotate those buttons around a bit so they're on the front and not on the top. But apart from the clunkiness of the weight, the ride seems pretty smooth with the 160 travel, 150 in the back, and the back definitely feels heavier than the front of this bike. It means I'm not sure how well it will handle in fast, tight corners. Front end might want to slip out a little more. But we'll find out when we get to the top. Definitely getting a lot of gear clunk. Not sure if it's just wear on this cassette or something needs tuning up. Alright. Well, that was Grand Traverse in record time. So after the initial climb there, first ride on an electric mountain bike, that was fun. I really enjoyed it. Got me up to the top super quick. Still a little bit of a workout, but nothing crazy. I'm definitely not as exhausted as I would have been if I'd have ridden my normal bike. You can go a bit faster, obviously. Little clunky, little heavy, but smooth on the suspension. And yeah, just those few little things I'd like to fine tune with how the buttons are pressed on the power band. But other than that, still lots of fun. Gets you out into the forest, and you're not fussed about how far you're going. You can just go and enjoy the environment without being too concerned about your fitness level, which is a bonus. Let's go ride some more. So in high power mode, this bike has some torque. You can pop it, wheelie, no worries. Whew. Trouble with the torque is, on slow, rooty corners, those tyres are going to kick out on you. So you do need to power down for the low speed, wet, rooty corners, so you don't kick out so much. Definitely feeling it on the shoulder right now, so I'm going to take it a little easier climbing over these things. The one thing that this e-bike does is it stops you from taking the logging roads. Because you know you can get up everything. So instead of taking the logging road to the top, you can take this single track. The downside of that is you could end up having a pretty nasty head-on with somebody coming down, because people just aren't expecting a rider to be coming up the trail. Usually I'd give that a blast, but with my injury, that is not happening. So it's not much fun trying to lift this up with a bad shoulder. Okay, so do I feel like I'm cheating? Kind of. Am I having fun? Yes. Do I want to own an e-bike? Maybe. I think e-bikes are for those that are not quite fit enough to go out on long rides on their own without a motor assist, and for those that want to go out for a super long distance ride in a short amount of time. And the other great thing about e-bikes is they're just amazing exploration machines. I can ride trails on this trip that I wouldn't normally go and explore because of fear of getting lost or, running out of time or energy. But because I'm on an e-bike, I'm like, what the heck, I'll just go down here, see what's down here, and if I have to turn around, I'm on an e-bike, so what? Just turn around. Take me 2 minutes to get back out. So they definitely shine in that area. Great way to explore new territory. Great way to join people fitter than you that you wouldn't normally ride with. It's still a ton of fun. They're great. I think if you're in the market for an e-bike, it's rocky. Ticks quite a few boxes. Travel is great. Motor seems great, a little noisy. Although I've got nothing else to compare it to. A little heavy in the back end, but it seems fairly balanced. Haven't taken it over any jumps or anything. I can stay seated while climbing all that, which is cool. Not going to hit that in the wet. So because the motor does a lot of the work, you don't have to develop or improve as a rider really. So I think the curve to become a better rider is a lot shallower and you're not going to really progress. And the reason I say that, from very beginnery, great, you're going to get out, drop your fitness, get fitter and all that. That's great. But because the motor does a lot of the work, one thing you don't have to do is look ahead at the terrain to see what's coming up. Because you don't have to plan for a gear change really, like you would normally. You can just know that it'll go up, whatever. So you don't have to think about gear selection or cadence or anything like that. So the ceiling of rider level there is a ceiling basically. But when you hit open sections like this and you can just blast it, that's where it becomes a lot of fun. Okay, so let's try it in the techie stuff. Alright, shoulders feeling alright. Let's drop a gear down on the power. That definitely takes a little bit more controlling with the weight. It's not as easy to flick around. Kind of need to pick your roots a little bit more precise. There are certain things I don't want to do with my shoulder the way it is because I don't need to be putting it under too much strain, and it does feel like more strain is required to control this bike. Somebody told me that riding an e-bike is more of a full body workout because of the power you have beneath your legs, and you just need to keep that bike under control, so you're hanging on a bit more, the upper body's working a bit more, and I think they're right. Seems to be the case. My upper body's a little more tired than it usually would be, bringing this beast under control. Especially under the wet conditions, I'm wanting to make sure I'm not going to be slipping off anything. So you know, YouTube reviews can only be so good because the suspension could always be dialed better, the rider could always be better. Now, I'm a little dubious about these bridges because of the torque in the rear wheel. It just wants to spin up. So getting the right kind of balance between gearing and power is kind of an interesting thing to be thinking about there. I'm noticing that the power ratio needs to be fine-tuned on the app, because I drop it down one and I lose everything. It's kind of super heavy. And now I've got too much torque. It just wants to wheelie up this. It's so powerful. You gotta be careful and throw it over the back there. It is a different way of riding, balancing the cadence between the power and the gearing. Alright, let's see what Cyclops is like. I love the kind of go anywhere, get anywhere kind of vibe on these e-bikes. It's kind of nice. Just knowing that wherever you explore, you can just go there. Pretty beautiful down there today. I don't know if you can see anything. Super misty, super rainy, but what a day to be out. You know, you could sit at home and look at that rain and think, nah. But once you're out, man, it's so good. Whoa, yeah. You can't hover at the top of any drops on an e-bike. It just wants to go. You tap the pedal and it just wants to take you. Yeah, definitely leaning it over is takes a little bit more effort. And I'm finding that my injury is actually helping me stay a bit further over the front of the bars, which is great for my riding. keeping my chin over the bars there makes a better weight. I just don't want to straighten my arm too much because of the pain, but this is keeping me nice and tucked in. Sketched on the roots a little bit there, but alright, drop the power. Really hard to get around to that power button when going downhill. Alright, we're under control. Now back up on the power. Again, I'm hardly touching the gears, so a lot of fun. Just pedal and go kind of thing. The one rule I have right now is don't fall off, as then my shoulder is back to square one. So I'm keeping it super chill. The weight of the e-bike wants to run away with you, right? That's the only downside. Wants to run away on those steeps, so I feel a little less in control. I never know whether to reach for the gear or the power. And I seem to keep going for the power. Makes life a little easier. It's a very capable bike. I think the amount of travel is perfect. 160, 150. I don't think I'd want to go any less travel on an e-bike than this. Just because of the weight, you feel it pounding around, right? Well, I definitely wouldn't have made that without a motor. See, moments like this, you could definitely do with a walk switch. Some bikes do have a walk switch. This one does not. Just the age you're pushing this 60-pound bike, or whatever it is, up a hill. But as I was saying, you need to be super mindful of where the back wheel is and what power band you're in. And then especially in the wet, because that's gonna be the downfall of any e-biker. That unexpected power of almost having a throttle there. Okay, so now it's time to try this flow trail. I'm not gonna go crazy because I just don't want to come off, so I'm gonna take it steady and just see how she does. Pretty nice in the air, pretty balanced. It's the first jump since I broke myself. Alright, well, she handles really well. I'm just a bit sketched out after my accident 8 weeks ago, so I'm not pushing it. You can definitely feel the weight of the bike putting me off from going fast, because it feels I can't control it, especially as I've got no muscles in my arm after being out the game. You just feel that with the extra weight, that if your front wheel goes and loses traction, you're down. Like, there's no saving it. On a normal bike, I think if your front wheel goes a little bit, you've got a chance of kind of correcting it. But with the weight of an e-bike, you're down. There's no way you're gonna pull it back. It's a muddy day. This is the section of the Double D that an e-bike's definitely a winner. Whew. So most of that was probably mudded out because it's so freaking filthy right now. I am completely brown with mud. I'm heading back to the car. I've had a great time. I've got so much more energy left than I would normally after a ride. Woo. So that's fun. Riding an e-bike is definitely fun. I've got loads of energy left. I can go do another 2 hours of riding, which is great. You know, if you like being on the trails, you like being on a bike, then you can spend longer on it. Then why not get an e-bike? Because it just makes sense. But if you want to get fit, ride fast and do races and stuff, then normal bikes, nothing wrong with it, you know? Nothing wrong with a normal bike. And there's nothing wrong with an e-bike. Drive, ride, do whatever you want. And all I can say is, being on a bike is fun. That's pretty much the conclusion. Who cares what you're on? But if you want to get on a rocky mountain, then get one, because it's an awesome company. I own a Rocky myself, and this bike has done solidly on this ride today. I had a lot of fun just getting used to a heavier bike, but the brakes are solid, so there's no panic there. Obviously I'm in the rain, mud, slippy, gross, with an injury, and so it still enabled me to get out there and have fun, so can't knock e-bikes one bit.